Hello and welcome to an information skills video on tools to help you cite your sources. My name is Krista Bowers-Sharpe and I'm a librarian at Western Illinois University. My contact information is on the screen in front of you and also at the end of the video if you want to contact me directly. I will also tell you how you can get in contact with a reference desk where we help people with citations and citation tools. The best options to assist you with creating citations fall into two categories: database-provided citation tools and citation management software. Some of you may have used Noodle tools to create a citation. It has the disadvantages of offering only 3 citation styles, and you have to fill in the information manually, at least in the free version. The options I'll show you here offer more citation styles. They let you capture citations or citation information automatically, and one of them can even generate whole alphabetized bibliographies. Because I cover both types, this is a fairly lengthy video, so you may want to skip ahead if you're only interested in citation management software or in Zotero specifically. Database-provided citation tools differ based on the company that produces them. I'm going to demonstrate how to use the tool that is part of Sociological Abstracts, which we get from the ProQuest company. Therefore, what I say will also apply to ABI Inform, Criminal Justice, and other ProQuest databases. But during the demo, I will also offer some general rules to help you find and use citation tools and databases from other companies, like EBSCO. Here is a results list from a Sociological Abstracts search. Notice the word cite that appears with other options at the top right hand of the results list, directly under the divider. If you click on the title of an article to see the full record, the same option appears in a box on the right side of the record. Other databases may put this option elsewhere on the page or use slightly different terminology, so you may have to look around to find it, for instance, in the EBSCO databases. If I click on Cite from this one article, a new box opens up. At the top, it indicates the citation style used to create the citation that appears in the middle of the box, and this is a reference for the article you're currently viewing. If you need it in a different style, drop down the menu and choose the correct one, and then click on the Change button. Note that not all databases offer the same choices. With database-provided citation tools, you may have to pick a style that is closely related and make changes yourself. When you have the citation in the style you want, which I do, simply copy and then paste it into your existing paper or a new file. And I've started a paper here. Back in the database, let's return to the list of results to see how you can generate multiple citations. In ProQuest databases, the way you select more than one article is to click in the box by the number. And once I've selected what I want, I can click on the Cite function from here. It again opens up a box. It remembers the citation from earlier in this session, and 2 citations appear. I can again copy them and paste them into my document. In the EBSCO databases, you will have to use the Add to Folder function, which appears, then go to the folder view, where you will be able to use their cite tool. I'm going to paste in my new citations. And now I have all 3 of them. With database-provided citation tools, you'll need to spend some time editing. If you didn't already, make sure you have the appropriate heading at the top of the page. For ASA style, I've typed the word references. Change to a hanging indent. We have some of them with a hanging indent and one without. If I need all of them in a hanging indent, which most styles do, I have the option to use the ruler at the top and pull the upwards facing triangle around to change where the second and following lines will fall. I can also go into the paragraph options, and under indentation, under special, choose hanging. If you want the ruler to appear and it's not appearing, click on View, and in the Show panel, make sure that ruler is checked. I now have all three of them with a hanging indent. Other changes that I may have to make would be font type, font size, and paragraph spacing, line spacing, which I will set to single spacing and no extra space in between them. I can do that manually. One more thing to note is that I've pasted these in several chunks. They are not in alphabetical order. So I will need to move them around manually. Note that there can still be errors. You always have to edit what you receive from the databases. The third citation by Pan and two other authors has the authors' names all in capitals. This just happens to be the way the information was sent from the publisher to ProQuest to put in the database, but it's not correct for ASA style, so I would need to change it for my paper. Now I will demo one example of citation management software. Zotero is a free tool, but it needs to be installed. So open up whichever browser you plan to use to do your searching, then visit the Zotero website and download the software, as well as any browser plugin it tells you you'll need. The directions for downloading and installing Zotero are found at wiu.libguides.com/Zotero guide. You can also find this guide by searching the word Zotero in the box at the bottom left-hand corner of the library's webpage. Zotero is independent of any one database or search platform because it works with your browser. Before we begin to import citations, let's familiarize ourselves with the Zotero software interface. The left panel lists all collections you create, another word for folders, in order to organize citations. The middle panel displays all citations currently housed in whichever collection is highlighted at the left. The right panel displays full information for whichever citation is highlighted in the middle. In other words, the panes go from less to more information or detail from left to right. I have created a collection entitled Demo for use today. Now it's important to remember to have Zotero open and running simultaneously when you're doing your searching, or you won't be able to harvest citations. Also, if you make sure to highlight the collection that you're going to put your citations in before you begin to download, those citations you harvest will automatically go into that folder, which saves you time later. Now I will demo how to harvest and manage a few citations and then create a bibliography from them. We still have the same results list in SoChabs. Again, make sure that Zotero is running and open to the appropriate collection. Since I have the Zotero Firefox connector installed, as well as the software, I will see one of several icons appear at the right end of the address bar while I'm searching. For instance, if I'm looking at a single article, I will see an icon that is intended to look like a piece of paper. That is the Zotero icon for an article. And if I click on it, I have it set to save to my demo folder, and it will download that information for me and store it. I'm going to return to the results page, and we can look at how to download more than one at a time. If it sees multiple citations, it will show you a little icon of a folder, and if I click on it, this is a list of all the citations in my results list, and I can select more than one at a time to put into my demo folder. Other icons you may see when you're searching would be for books, book chapters, videos, and websites. Once we download all of the citations needed for a given bibliography, we can go over into the Zotero software. Here's my demo folder. Here are the 3 that I have downloaded, and here's the full information for the one that is highlighted. Zotero saves all the information. It does not save it in any particular style. The point at which it does choose a style is when you want to create a bibliography. So let's look at how to do that. Once everything is in the folder that you're going to need, you can right-click on top of it and say Create Bibliography from Collection. First, you're going to choose the style that you want. My Zotero knows that I want ASA style. This is not a terribly long list, so if you don't see what you need in here, you can click on Manage Styles, and then there's an option to get additional styles installed. It's an easy process. They have over 9,000 styles, but they don't list them all here to begin with because most people are using APA, MLA, and Chicago, and they don't want you to have to search through 9,000 options unless you need to. Below that, it wants to know what our output mode is. I want to create a bibliography, not the citations for inside the paper. And then the method, I'm happy to have it just copy the results to a clipboard. It'll be in the computer's memory, and I can then paste it into my Word document. And I'm going to have it do that now. So I'm going to click on OK. Get back into the Word document. And let me paste it. So because I did all 3 at once, they are alphabetized. In addition, it already has the hanging indent. It has the line spacing correct. That doesn't mean it's perfect. Even with citation management software, you need to keep an eye out for things like this, which it will not change automatically. You would need to edit that. I also note, because I've looked at ASA style before, that the journal titles have Aging in Society and then a semicolon and a place of publication. I don't believe that is correct ASA style. You need to read these citations and compare them to correct examples. In other words, you have to edit. One final note for Zotero, like many other citation management software options, it has a tool that plugs into Word to allow you to create in-text citations, footnotes, or endnotes within a paper. It shows up as a tab in Word. As you add citations inside your paper, it will dynamically, automatically build the bibliography at the end of the paper and give it the correct header for that page. To review, I have demonstrated 2 types of citation help. Database-provided citation tools are helpful in some situations, but are limited. Not all databases offer them. When they are present, their choices of style manual may be limited, and if you want to change styles, you would need to go back into the database and regenerate the citation. You can copy and paste them into a Word document, but must adjust not only indentation, line spacing, and font, but also manually alphabetize them. But if you only have a few citations, database-provided citation tools are adequate. For longer bibliographies, citation management software is a better option. It's more sophisticated because it downloads all available citation information. You can then keep that information indefinitely, organize it into folders, and turn it into citations of various styles. Many CMS options have a Word plugin that will manage your in-text citations, footnotes, or endnotes, and bibliography dynamically as you type your paper. Alternatively, you can simply use the citation info to create an entire bibliography to paste into a document. It will be alphabetized, but you would still need to make sure indentation, spacing, and fonts are correct. Always remember to read the citations to edit them. Content may have been incorrect or incorrectly formatted in the database itself, and those errors are transferred to any generated citations using either type of tool. That was an overview on 2 types of citation help, showing one example of each. If you have any questions, you may contact me directly, or here in the middle of the screen, you can see the URL with information on reaching us in person, by phone, IM, text, or email at the reference desk, including our service hours. We're always happy to help you with our assignments. and that's www.wiu.edu/libraries/help.